Hello, my friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's card is this one. We're going to be making this pretty cool card with the Country Bouquet bundle that you can find in the mini catalog of Stampin' Up. And I'm going to pull in a couple other projects to show you just how to create this beautiful card. So if you want to know how to make this card, please keep watching. So for this card, I'm going to be using the Country Bouquet bundle, which you can find on page 8 and 9 of the Stampin' Up Mini Catalog, January to April 2023. This suite is what I'm going to be talking about on all my social channels all week long. I love it. There are tons of products in here, and I know it looks very Valentine's Day-y, but I'm going to show you projects all this week that are not Valentine's themed. So we're going to start with this one. I'm going to put my catalog away. And here is the Country Bouquet bundle. So it is a photopolymer stamp set with 16 stamps in it and a punch. I love paper punches because they are super easy to use. Let's start our card first with a little bit of stamping. So I have a piece, a tiny little strip of basic white here that measures 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And we're going to use the Just Wanted to Say sentiment. I'm going to grab an H block. And then we also need this heart here. We're going to be using that. I'm going to put that on a D block. And we're only using one ink color. I'm going to be using Mint Macaron. I like to call it Mint Mac. Mint Mac. And then I'm also going to be pulling the Good Feelings Cling Stamp Set. I love this stamp set because there are a ton of sentiments. So for this card, I used the I'm Just So Happy For You on the inside. I think I'm going to switch it up and go with Thank You for this one. So I'm going to grab that stamp and another D block. And let's just do all of our stamping first. Let me move my stamp set so I have enough room. So we will start with our Mint Macaron. And I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. Don't want to push too hard. I'm going to line this up on my grid paper. And because I'm going to be using another punch on this, I'm going to go all the way to the left with the stamp. Try to get it as even as possible. Perfect. And then I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper. This is kind of a big scrap piece of paper. I'm going to grab a scrap piece for our heart. Stamp it right about there. And then the card base. So our card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to fold it over. And we're just going to stamp the inside. Oh, I forgot to grab another stamp. I just put my thumb in the ink pad. I'm going to grab my thank you. And just kind of center it. I still like to line it up just to make sure I'm not super crooked. Looks good to me. I do want to grab, there's a little spriggy piece in here. You could also use the hearts or the flowers. I'm going to grab this little spriggy piece and a C block. Throw that on there. Just twice on the bottom. I kind of made a little oopsie on the sample card. It didn't stamp all the way, so I stamped it a third time. I don't really think you can tell unless you're seeing this video and I'm telling you about it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, so I just left it. So that is it for stamping. I'm going to clean up my stamps, put them away, and then I'm going to show you the paper punches. So now that I have all my stamps put away, we're going to do some paper punching. So we have the beautiful heart punch here from the Country Bouquet bundle. I'm just going to go ahead and punch out this heart here. This also coordinates with the stamps in the stamp set to punch out little leaves and a smaller heart. I'll show you the stamp. It coordinates with this one here, but that's the heart we used, and the leaves here. And I will have a video or a reel up tomorrow showing a easy way to use that. And I also used that in yesterday's VIP group video. So then I'm going to use the Banners Pick-a-Punch. Now this gives you, I'm going to turn it over so you can see it, 2 different banner shapes. We're going to be using the more pointed one here. And you can do 1 inch, half an inch or 3/4 of an inch. 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or half an inch. So I have a piece of the Country Gingham Designer Series paper that is 1 inch by 5. This is going to be our big piece. I'm just going to slide it in. I like to flip it over and make sure it's even in there. I kind of like to make sure, yeah, and just punch, and then you get a banner. I just like to make sure it's even on both sides so I don't get a wonky piece. And then these two pieces are half an inch wide, and so I'm just going to kind of layer them on each other. This Mint Macaron might be a little bit wider, but that's okay. I'm going to slide it in there, and again, flipping over my punch just to make sure it's pretty even. And then we're going to take and do our sentiment, and that's why I went all the way over to the left on that, so I didn't cut off any of the words. There. And now we have our banners, and then, oh, I forgot, before I put my heart punch here away, we want to get a little heart out of the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. So this is just an inch scrap strip. I'm going to put it all the way down and just punch one of the smaller hearts out of that. And now we can assemble our card. So I have my card base that I've already stamped. I also have a piece of Mint Macaron at 5 1/4 by 4. Then a piece of basic white that is 5 by 3 3/4, which I embossed with the brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. This only fits in the standard size cut and emboss machine, not the mini. It is a 6 by 6 folder. And then I have two pieces here. I have a die cut shape using the scallop contours dies. I'll show you those really quick. These are some of my favorite dies. So I used this one here to die cut that Mint Macaron piece. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 2 3/4 by 1 1/2. So now all we have to do really is put our card together. I do, before I forget, want to cut some of the ribbon from the Real Red and Burlap Ribbon combo pack. This is part of that Country Floral Lane suite. I'm going to grab the burlap ribbon, and I just kind of eyeball it, and then take my paper snips or scissors. We'll just cut that. I like to cut at an angle just in case I want to angle my ribbon. That way it's ready to go and I don't have to cut any excess off and waste the ribbon. So now we're just going to put this together. I'm going to grab my seal, and we'll take our embossed panel and run some seal along that. And that goes on the Mint Macaron piece. And then we will take some seal onto the back of that. And before we stick it down, this is when I like to wrap my ribbon around. You could use Scotch tape. I used to do that a lot. And I'm putting it kind of like the bottom third of the card. I am going to flip this over. I realize it's upside down. It's going to go this way. And then we can stick that onto our card base. And actually what I should have done is stick this piece down first. So stick this piece down first before you wrap your ribbon around. We'll be able to tuck it underneath. Just going to slide that under there. And I want to line it up with the basic white piece. Like that. Now it's stuck down. And then we're going to take our basic white 1 1/2 by 2 3/4 piece. And this fits perfectly onto the die cut. Like that. And I like how these little pieces poke out. And then we're going to take some mini dimensionals and some regular Stampin' dimensionals. I like to cut the end pieces, the outside of my dimensionals, because they're sticky and they work just the same. So I'm going to put that heart down, and then we'll take our little heart and get a mini dimensional for that. Have that going that way, and then I just ran some seal along. No, I did put dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to cut some more of these outside pieces. we can stick this down to our card. I can get the backing off. Right in the center. Try to get the back. I'll worry about that later. And I'm going to take some seal for on our sentiment. And I'm going to line this up with this part. This one, like I said, it's a little bit long, but I'm going to line it up here. Hopefully. Like that. And then I'm just going to take some paper snips. Because when you get into small pieces like this, sometimes they get a little wobbly when you're using your paper trimmer. I'm just going to snip off the edge like that. Just because I didn't want any of that green showing through. So now we can flip this over and put some mini dimensionals on the back. I'm going to go with 3 of them. Sometimes these little backings get stuck to me. I find them all over the house sometimes. And I'm going to lay that down onto the ribbon just slightly. And we're not done yet because we need some bling. So I decided to use the Pearl Basic Jewels. And these are white, clearly, but I want them colored. So you can color your Pearl Basic Jewels and your rhinestones and pretty much any embellishment you want with Stampin' Blend. So I have the dark Mint Macaron here. I'm just going to color 3 of them. And these only take a second to dry, but I do like to just kind of leave them sit for a second. So I probably should have done this first and then put the card together, but you know what? It's okay. So I'm just coloring these. And then we're going to let them sit just a second. But these are alcohol-based markers, so they dry fairly quickly. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to use the paper piercer end and just pick up one, set it down in that corner. There's something on there. Pick up the other one, put it in that corner, and then we'll take this third one, maybe, see, maybe I want the putty on now, and we'll put it down here. There. And that is our card. I'm going to bring back in the sample card. So I hope you enjoyed this card today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I post videos on YouTube every Monday and I go live on Fridays. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. I really hope you guys enjoyed talking about the Country Floral Lane suite this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.